Hey, what's up, guys? And uh, this is about Yeshua HaMashiach and Tupac Shakur. And I also want you to do your research on it and stuff, because I believe it'll help you guys out too. Okay. Yeshua was spiritual and not religious because the Israelites were Judaism when they crucified Yeshua. And I know that Yeshua was a spiritual person, and people hated him and wanted him dead because he was a outlaw to the religion, like other outcasts to other religions in other countries that outlaw people. And Yeshua was teaching his own way of righteousness while people were persecuting him, like what sheriffs do to the Wild Western outlaws. And he was teaching people spirituality and healing people, and he was like their modern day Robin Hood that people wanted crucified or stoned, like the death of an outlaw. And some people believed in Yeshua, including his disciples, and their group were like a band of outlaws that were being persecuted and going around doing God's will and healing people and casting out demons and proclaiming God's kingdom. And they were being outlawed by some of the Pharisees and some of the religious people that followed some of the Pharisees. And they would try to get Yeshua and his disciples killed, so they would slander him. So they would slander him and gossip and hate on Yeshua too, and would try to stop Yeshua and his disciples from doing God's will. And Yeshua always knew what they were up to, and nowadays what they would call what Yeshua was going through, and nowadays what they would call what Yeshua was going through was gang stalking. Because everything that chosen ones were going through and experienced, Yeshua felt it too because he was being gang stalked by everyone in the world. That's why I know the Bible are good for chosen ones, because Yeshua was a chosen one and he knew who the true God of Israel was, because he wasn't religious and was spiritual, because the Pharisees were using religion to control people and stuff. And they didn't like what Yeshua was doing and tried to put a stop to it because they were losing followers. And I believe Tupac Shakur was the way with same way with Tupac's movement called Thug Life movement, and it's a spiritual movement for spiritual people that's oppressed by systematic people and stuff. And Tupac tried to awaken people to who they are as chosen ones in this modern day world, and tried to diagnose thug life to us that believe in God and chosen to do God's will on earth. And Tupac was like John the Baptist that was preparing the way for us chosen ones to follow his footsteps. Because Tupac also knew Yeshua and could also be a good role model for this modern day times to follow Yeshua, because I believe Tupac knows the way and he taught what I know about Yeshua and the Holy Bible through his perspective. And I believe that Tupac is a chosen one that also knows how us chosen ones feel, because it's in his lyrics, because Tupac knew how we felt and tried to be a good role model to us, leading us to Yeshua and God, because I learned Tupac knows a lot about spirituality and the struggles that we go through as chosen ones. And he knew about the churches nowadays and wrote lyrics to relate to us and teach us spiritual lessons in his music. And he loved God enough to do God's will, just like Yeshua would do, because Tupac loved the chosen ones and wanted to lead them in the right directions, because he loved us and knew we were God's people and wanted to prepare the way like John the Baptist did for Yeshua. And yeah, I believe Tupac was a son of God, or the son of God, and I believe he was sent from God to lead his people like Moses did into the promised land. And some people might call this blasphemy, but we live in a sinful world full of outlaws in God's eyes, and God knows that, and is why He sent Yeshua to die for our past, present, and future sins we commit in ignorance, because we are ignorant doing what we believe is right to survive as outlaws in God's eyes. That's why faith in Yeshua will save us, and Tupac too, because he knows the true Jesus and not the Caesar Borgia they display in churches. And yeah, I just want you guys to do your research on that type of stuff too, and to learn for yourselves and stuff. And peace out.